Hey everybody, Evan Ronan here with your next tip for writers. This comes to us from Hollywood, and the tip is scout your locations. So when you think about a film, the director, the producer, and the location scouts, especially when there's a big budget attached to the movie, will fly around. They'll go to all these exotic locales and they'll try and find that perfect geography, that perfect scene that just captures the moment of the film they want to capture, or sets the mood, or just really fits in with the story. It's evocative and unique, and it just creates a mood for you, and the setting actually becomes a part of the story, for lack of a better word. Now, if you're like me and you don't have a Hollywood studio budget to work with, the best way you can do this is just to do a simple Google search, and that's what I'll actually be doing today, probably right after I'm done this video. I am in the planning stages of a fantasy novel, and I've never really done it like an epic or a heroic fantasy novel before, so I'm being very deliberate in all of my planning and all the pre-production and the thought that goes into it. What I've noticed about my earlier stories is they were all happening in very similar locations. The hero would meet up with somebody at a bar or a restaurant, and that's probably because I like to go to bars and I like to go to restaurants. So that's just, it's just something that comes out of my subconscious without me even thinking about it. And what I noticed was in some of my stories, there are 4 or 5 different just locales that keep on recurring over and over again. And that's because I was just using it as background and filler, and I was more focused on the dynamics of the characters, the dialogue, and moving the plot forward. So, but for this particular story, I want to be more deliberate in my scenes, and it's fantasy, so I don't want it to feel like it's taking place in this world. I want it to have the exotic kind of alien feel. So what I'll be doing is a Google search on just kind of different ideas, and I want to find 4 or 5 kind of set pieces that are very evocative. They just by how they're structured and how they look and feel, they kind of create a mood on their own. And then I want each of those set pieces to be different from each other. I don't want them to just go from one battlefield to the next battlefield to the next, or one forest to the next forest, because that gets boring for readers, and the story just kind of there's no change there. There's no progression. You don't feel like there's any movement. So when you put your characters into kind of different settings, it forces them to not only experience new things, but kind of like experience themselves for the first time. The fish out of water scenario. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to scout my locations for this new story I have coming up. I recommend that you give it a try too. It'll just add some richness. It'll give you more kind of tools in the toolbox to play with, and so give that a shot. And hey, if you do have a Hollywood studio budget in your back pocket and you can fly everywhere and literally scout locations for your books, that's awesome, and please send me some money. It would help a lot. So that's all for the tip today. Again, if you want to reach me for any reason whatsoever, you can reach me at ronaniswriting@gmail.com. Please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. And just as a heads up, I'm going to be talking more about this fantasy novel I'm working on. Really, really excited about this one. It's one I've been wanting to write for a long time. So that's all for today. Thanks, everybody.